Hey guys, it's Michaela and you are watching FunsizedStyle. First of all, I want to apologize. I'm filming in the evening and for some reason in the evenings lately my skin gets really oily. It's really weird, as you can tell, like right here I'm a shiny mess. So I need to find a better setting powder that helps with this shine because clearly the one I'm using right now is not working for this new developing oily skin issue. So if you guys have any recommendations, let me know down below. Again, for some reason it's just in the evening, like by the time the evening rolls around, part of my face gets really oily. Anyways, that's not what today's video is about. You guys know, or maybe you don't if you're new here, but I'm pretty candid here on my channel and I share a lot about my different health diagnosis and everything that goes along with osteogenesis imperfecta. Within osteogenesis imperfecta, you guys know that I deal with a lot of other conditions that are caused by OI because OI is caused by a defect in the collagen production. So for my type 3, I produce enough collagen, but the type of collagen that my body produces is not very good. Collagen is basically found everywhere in your body. You guys know I talk about OI a lot, and I have a lot of osteogenesis imperfecta beginner videos, pretty much where it just kind of goes down to the basics of what OI is. And here on my channel I pretty much only speak of my type, except for the general what is osteogenesis imperfecta video that I did. I do mention the other 3 core types. There are 19 different types of OI, but obviously I only speak on the type that I have because that's the only type of OI that I have experience with. In osteogenesis imperfecta, because the collagen is affected, is what causes OI. Collagen is pretty much everywhere in your body. OI is not just OI, it causes many other things. One of the other, co-issues that I deal with is not, this can be an OI related issue, but the type of issue that I have, the cause of the issue that I have or had, is not related to osteogenesis imperfecta. It throws a lot of people off when I talk about it because, like I said, collagen is affected everywhere, pretty much, and is everywhere in your body, pretty much. But this cause, not necessarily because of my osteogenesis imperfecta. The condition that I'm going to be updating you guys about today is my struggle with hearing loss. So as you guys know, or maybe you don't, I deal with pretty significant hearing loss on the right side, and I have conductive hearing loss. There's different types of hearing loss, but I have conductive hearing loss, and I'm not going to go too in depth of what caused my hearing loss. Covered that quite a bit, so I'll link my hearing loss playlist in the iCard here, and I'll also have it linked down below if you'd like to catch up. But just super briefly, I am missing 2 of the 3 hearing bones. In your ear there are 3 hearing bones, and I am missing 2 of 3. And no, I was not born like this. No, this is not an OI thing. This was caused because previous doctors neglected to find the root cause of why I was experiencing reoccurring ear infections. And I love how I wasn't going to tell you, but basically I'm telling you, I guess, because it can be really confusing because, like I said, the reason that I have the hearing loss is a typical thing. It's very rare. Well, I don't know about very rare, but it's not common thing, a common cause, but it was caused by previous doctors neglecting to get to the root cause of why I was having reoccurring ear infections on my right side for, oh gosh, years and years and years and years and years. And I was told that, because I remember at this one appointment, my mom had asked my doctor, will this cause any permanent hearing loss for her in the future? And he said, I remember him saying, oh no, you know, she won't have to worry about that, like, she's doing just fine. Fast forward many, many years later, the continuous infections, and had eaten away, literally like a Pac-Man, at the hearing bones inside of my ear. The hearing bones were being destroyed, and I didn't even know it. And so, by the time I found a surgeon that got to the root cause and realized that I had a physical deformity within my ear. So that's my really quick history of hearing loss, and so it's pretty profound, hearing loss, and I didn't notice it until recent years. And again, you can check on my hearing loss playlist to learn more. It really started to affect me the past 3 years, and so kind of when I've started to talk about my hearing loss. I never talked about having hearing loss on my channel before because it never affected me. Like, I didn't even know pretty much that I had hearing loss. And then I started noticing that it affected my conversations with my family and just having to have people repeat things. And the type of hearing loss that I have, I understand that people are talking to me. Like, I can hear people talking to me, but I can't understand what they're saying. Especially if you're on my right side, like, I will most likely have to ask you to repeat, especially if you're soft-spoken. In this mask-wearing era, certainly does not help those with hearing loss at all. This is like our worst nightmare because it makes communication so much more difficult. But thankfully, we're getting past that. That's my quick history. I'm going to share with you guys kind of where I'm at with this. I'm not going to talk about all the previous surgeries I've had, but I'm going to talk about where I'm at now. Again, if you want to catch up, that's what the playlist is for. So I know everything with my spinal fusion and my scoliosis and halo traction, like, that's all taken priority. That everything else in my life medically was put on the back burner, rightfully so. But now I'm at a place where I can start focusing on other things, and I'm doing really well. And my spinal fusion, my orthopedic surgeon who did my spinal fusion fully supports me doing this. In fact, she'll be assisting in some capacity to prep me. You can go to my hearing loss playlist because I actually talk about her in my playlist because she was involved in my previous surgeries, and so she fully supports me going through with this. But we've hit a bit of a roadblock, not medically, administratively, I guess, with healthcare insurance. And so I show a lot of things and I talk about a lot of things. I talk about the ups and downs, and I want to share the real harsh realities that I have to go through to get what I need medically. Like, everything seems to have to be a fight with my health insurance, and don't get me wrong, I'm extremely grateful for it. It is a blessing. I am in the small minority of people that I believe that one should pay for their health care if they're able. I think we should all work hard and provide for ourselves whenever we are able to. And I pay for my own health care. Nobody pays for it for me. To do that, I'm grateful that I'm able to do that because I want to provide for myself and be as self-sufficient as I possibly can in this world, and I wish that everyone had that desire. But I hit a bit of a roadblock with me being approved by my insurance to get, okay, so I'm like going away all over the place. It's been so long since I've talked about my hearing loss that I forgot that I haven't even updated you like where we last left off. I'm just assuming you guys know because I've mentioned it on Instagram and I've talked about it, but not on here. So now that my spinal fusion stuff is good, and, well, it's not good, but I'm stable and I'm doing well for the most part, my otolaryngologist and I have decided that I am going to be getting a bone-anchored hearing aid device. If you missed my most recent hearing loss video, I mentioned that I may no longer be able to wear my hearing aid again. I previously had a hearing aid. I enjoyed it for about 6 months, and then I was no longer able to wear the hearing aid. I was able to receive the hearing aid from a previous health insurance plan that I had before I turned 18, and then once I turned 18, I no longer had that plan. This plan that I had before I turned 18 covered everything related to my OI, and at the time, because of other diagnosis that was going on, and this is I guess it is somewhat related to my OI. It's very complicated, but way back into my history, this does stem from OI, but again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't get the scientific explanation. Because it relates to my OI in this capacity, I was able to get the hearing aid. I got it just before the plan. I didn't have the plan anymore. I was like, good, like, I'm set now, like, I have a hearing device. It's good, right? And I was only able to enjoy that device and have the privileges of using that device for about 4 months, and I started experiencing pain every time I wore the hearing aid because we discovered that I experienced nerve damage from the previous issues and everything that has gone along with repairing this physical deformity that I had. Not a surgical error. This was all connected to everything that I had gone through and that was neglected. Previous surgeons from these infections that destroyed the inside of my ear. After that I made that video a few weeks later, I went to an appointment. I think it might have even been the next day, I don't know. I didn't watch that video before I started filming that. I had mentioned that I may not be able to ever wear my hearing aid again. And that is the case. We have come to the conclusion that due to this causing me pain to wear the hearing aid, we're afraid that it could cause not further damage, but the nerves in my ear are not happy when I wear the hearing aid again, just because of everything that I've gone through and all the damage that has been done, not by my surgeon, but all the other doctors that to look at the root cause. And so I was not able to wear the hearing aid. So I've not had a hearing device since then. It was so hard not be able to wear it anymore. I was really reluctant to get a hearing aid, not because of pride. I just genuinely didn't think my hearing was that bad. Then I started, my surgeon was like, no, Michaela, like, hearing is this bad. Like, she said your life would really benefit from a hearing aid, and she really convinced me to get one. And I remember the day that I got it, and I turned it on, and they put it on me, and I was so excited. I did not realize how bad my hearing is, and I had no idea of all the things that I was missing out on. Even like from a safety perspective, I would go outside, I would hear, like sometimes I won't hear a car passing by if it's at, like on my right side. Like I don't go out and do stuff like that, but like I didn't even realize like there were sounds outside that I wasn't hearing, and then I got the hearing aid and I would be like, oh my gosh, like do you guys hear that? And they'd be like, well yeah, because obviously they don't have hearing loss. But it was just so exciting for me, and then months later, essentially I have to have that taken away. It was like really sad. And obviously like things could be so much worse. I have one good ear, but you don't realize how much like our 5 senses matter, and how much when part of it's gone or even all of it's gone, how much that affects our life, our ability to participate in society to the fullest potential, and just all the ways that it affects our life. And I had no idea because I had been dealing with this for so long, and the deterioration of my hearing was so slow, which is why I didn't notice it until it got really, really bad. And so we decided that the hearing aid was no longer safe or ideal for me to wear. And so my surgeon discussed to me about other options, where the option that we have decided is best is a bone-anchored hearing aid. So I'll put some information here on the screen, but a bone-anchored hearing aid is a hearing device that bypasses all the bones in your ear, and it goes straight to the sensory neural system in your ear and processes the sounds. It goes directly to the sensory neural area because all the nerves in my ear work perfectly fine. I just don't physically have the hearing bone, which causes my hearing loss. She decided that that was the option for me. A bone-anchored hearing aid is different than a cochlear implant. A cochlear implant is for those that have sensory neural hearing loss, and I do not have that. I have a conductive hearing loss, so I'm the best candidate for a bone-anchored hearing aid, not cochlear implants. When I talk about my hearing loss, a lot of you actually have a cochlear implant, but this again is different than a cochlear implant. Actually, this is essentially a hearing aid that will go inside of my skull, and then there will be a magnet on the outside where I will put basically it will process the sound, so I can take it on and off at night and in the shower. I think there's like a cover that I can put on it when I'm in the shower, things like that. So it's not like always on me. Like I'll still have batteries I have to change, but so the processor will be on the outside, and then there'll be a magnet that I clip on and off my head on the right side, since my hearing loss is on the right side. My OI specialist thought this was like a wonderful idea, and I'm just a great candidate for a bone-anchored hearing aid, and I have no concerns about the hearing aid placement. I'm just a really great candidate for this. So my team had like no concerns. My otolaryngologist is like incredible. She was determined to help me find a device for me that I will be able to hear better, because like I said, the hearing aid just didn't work for me. And if you want to learn more, check out the playlist. And then my spinal fusion stuff happened, and we knew like that took precedent. I had been without a hearing device for well over a year, like a year and a half. We were gonna schedule the surgery for me to be able to get the bone-anchored hearing. My insurance covered all my surgeries related to this in the past. Obviously the hearing aid I got mostly covered by this other insurance opportunity because I got the hearing aid before I turned 18. I thought since that was like, not like my primary, but not like my secondary either. I don't know, like it's hard to explain. I never received any information or indication that my current insurance that I have now doesn't cover bone anchored hearing aids. I never experienced any indication of that or anything like that. And so it's all my other like hearing loss related surgeries have been covered, and I've had this insurance that I have now, you know, since I turned 18, and I've had these surgeries since like when I was 21, and you know, so I didn't think anything of it because everything's always been covered, like 80-20, you know what I mean, so, but covered, right? So I didn't think anything of it, and so back in March, I contacted my otolaryngologist and told her that I was ready to look into options and what bone anchored hearing aid we were going to use. I'll get into that in another video, but this is mainly about my insurance problems. I told her back in March that I was interested in, like, I'm doing well, I want to start looking into the bone anchored hearing aid that we talked about before my spinal fusion now, and I'm ready. Like, I am really struggling. I've just noticed in certain aspects of my life, I'm really struggling not being able to hear well. So there were some other tests that I had to get with surgery, and so I had to get a CT scan so she would know like where to place it and make sure my ear was healthy and everything to like be ready for the surgery. And then the other day I received a call from them saying that my insurance denied my hearing aid, bone anchored hearing aid, denied my surgeon's approval for the bone anchored hearing aid placement because my insurance does not cover bone anchored hearing aids. They cover hearing aids up to $600 per ear, which if you know anything about the cost of hearing aids, that's basically nothing. The previous hearing aid that I got, the only hearing aid I've ever got with the previous insurance that I had, was at least $1,500, if not more, I believe. So, again, basically nothing. And so now we have to go through the appeal process. I was hoping to be able to get the hearing device this month, or next month, because you guys will still see this in July. In August, we were hoping to do the placement because I'm starting classes back up in September, and I will need, not even comparable to the surgery I just had, but I will need a couple of days to recover. I'm going to have my skull cut in two, but again, it's a very minor surgery compared to what I'm used to, or not what I'm used to, but what I just had. My surgeon received the notification of denial, and then they called me because I hadn't gotten the letter in the mail yet, so they asked me if I got a letter, and I said no, like what letter, and then they told me about the denial. Now my surgeon has to file an appeal on my behalf for the bone anchored hearing aid. I was like broken when I heard the news because we had to move my spinal fusion surgery up to, like, you guys remember, like back in December when all that stuff happened, and then that was just a crap show, and everything that I need lately is a fight. It's just really exhausting, and it's really frustrating because, like I said, I'm not asking them to give me, I'm not asking the insurance company to give me something. Like, I'm asking them, like, give me something for free. I will pay my part, 80-20. Like, I know the deal, and it's just so frustrating because hearing is not, should not be considered optional. Hearing is one of our 5 core senses, and it should not be considered optional. It's not optional. So many areas of our life and our health. I have a way to fix it. My surgeon has a way for me to fix it. But my insurance company is trying to dictate my health care and what's important to me. And I can guarantee you, the people on this panel that are going to be making the appeal decision, I would say most, if not all of them, won't or don't have hearing loss. It's just so sad that people in these circumstances aren't the ones making the decision because they don't care about. I'm just a statistic. I'm not a college student getting ready to move out on her own and needs this device for safety purposes, and I'm just a statistic to them. This makes me really sad that everything that I need has to be a fight, and I have come so, like, we were so close, and then they just decided to deny us. There are plans supposedly within my plan that cover bone anchored hearing aids, but they are more expensive, and I cannot switch plans right now, so that's not an option. We are just hoping that the appeal goes through, and that a miracle will happen and somebody with great compassion about human decency be on the panel of people making the decision on whether or not they will cover a bone-anchored hearing aid placement surgery. It just makes me really sad too for my surgeon. Like, she's a surgeon. She should not have to spend time doing this, and I know that she's used to it and I get that, but she shouldn't have to spend time doing that. She should be getting that extra time with patients. And it just makes me sad because I was looking at my healthcare plan, and I won't mention what they are because I don't want to ruffle any feathers, and that's not what I'm here to do, but there are things that my insurance policy covers that are truly optional. There are some things on there that could not be more pinpointed than optional, and it just makes me so sad that the ability to hear isn't considered optional. And until you don't have that ability to be able to hear and communicate effectively just like anybody else, like, it might seem like a small thing. You don't realize what a big part that plays in your everyday life. So I just wanted to come on here, not for you guys to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to share, on the internet and social media, and it might just look like, oh, I'm gonna get this surgery and it's all gonna go great and there's no hoops. It's all just smooth. It's never just smooth. There's always hoops to go through. There's always someone to have to argue and advocate with. It's not easy. This is life. You're medically complex. I just hope and pray that appeal goes through, but honestly, because of the type of device that this is, I feel that they are going to deem this as a luxury and deem this as not necessary. I fear that in the eyes of some it could be considered a luxury, but that's not the case. The people that are making these decisions are able to hear. They have that gift, and they don't realize what a gift that it is to be able to. So if any of you have a bone-anchored hearing aid device, please let me know if you were able to get the device covered. If you have any tip on going through this appeal process for this device, I love your input. This is a unique thing, the way that healthcare runs. I fear that they will deem this not medically necessary. That's not how it is, and that's not how it should be. This is what I'm faced with. May not be able to get this hearing device for a while until I figure out the best way to fight this and to get them to cover the device. I need so much, and it's exhausting. I shouldn't have to do this, but this is the reality, and I want you guys to know this and to share with you what I'm going through right now. I've already made 5 phone calls dealing with this appeal issue, and I don't know if I mentioned, but they could take up to 30 days to the appeal decision. They may deny the appeal. If that's the case, I don't know what the next steps are. I know that there will be next steps because I'm not willing to give up on something that I medically need. So I'm not sure what those next steps are. I just know that there will be some. I wanted to share my feelings and my frustration with you and the reality of what I have to go through to get this device covered by my insurance. And this is not going to be an easy feat. It already has not been an easy feat, but we're going to do it, and my surgeon is going to go to bat for me, and she knows that I need this. She knows what this will do for me in terms of safety and improving my quality of life, and this is important. I need this. She would not agree to do this if I did not need this. She knows that this is not a luxury. This is a right that I should be able to have. I'm willing to pay my part. This is not, that's not what this is about. The part is about they won't cover any of it. And I pay for this insurance. So I do my part. They should have to do their part. And that's what I'm going through. I would just really love your opinion and advice if you've been through this with a bone-anchored hearing aid device. Any tips you have on the appeal process. Any other avenues, ways you're able to get your bone-anchored hearing aid if my appeal gets denied. I really don't know. That's what I'm bracing myself for. But I will not give up, and I'll go to every length that I have to get this device that I need, because I deserve this. I deserve the right to hear, and I deserve to get what I medically need. In the medical world, when people go through things, it just makes it look like they go and get it, and they sign up and they go and get it, and I have this beautiful device that changes my life and all these things, but people don't share what goes on in between and how long it takes to get to that beautiful magical moment. Right now I'm in the thick of it, and so this is my reality, but gonna go to every length that I need to get this device. And I have an amazing community of supporters, and I know that you guys will be cheering me on and praying for me that I'll be able to get this soon, and we can get everything figured out. I know it will be all in God's timing, but it is really frustrating at how things are set up and that I have to go to these lengths to get what I need. So I just wanted to share this challenge that I'm going through right now. It's just another thing I have to fight for. I literally have to fight for everything. And I'm not complaining, but I guess I kind of am. But there are days where it's frustrating, and that's okay, because I'm human, and this is what I have to do. But I'm going to do it, and it's going to be worth it, because I deserve the right to hear. So thank you guys for watching and listening to me vent. And I literally have no words. I'm just filled with frustration that I was this close to getting the surgery scheduled, and then they said, nope, not today. Not ever. Thank you guys for watching this video, being here for all the good times and hard times, and sharing in real life with me. And I know you guys are going through it too. We're all going through something. Just know that I'm cheering for you too. And I appreciate all the advice that you will leave in the comments. It means a lot. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.